Hello. Before we go properly into looking at the 21st century teaching methodologies, we are going to be looking at the skills that every 21st century teacher needs to acquire. Yes, what are the skills that is expected of a 21st century teacher? I call them the 5 A's. Yes, the 5 A's, 5 skills you have to acquire as a 21st century teacher. The first one is able to teach all learners. Yes, as a 21st century teacher, you should be able to reach out to every child in your classroom, every learner, not minding their abilities. Remember, they don't learn at the same pace, but your ability to be able to teach all the children, to be able to inculcate differentiated learning, makes you a 21st century teacher. Then the second one is able to implement technology. Now, let me ask, how many of us can use our technologies very well? How many of us can use our gadgets in the classroom? How many of us can implement this technology in the classroom to use them to teach? Because one of the important skill a teacher needs to acquire in order to effectively carry out these teaching methodologies is when you are conversant with technology. Yes, recently there was COVID, we had lockdown, and teachers had to teach from home. A lot of teachers schools operated Google Classroom. How many of us can use the Google very well? How many of us can use Google app? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. You must be able to implement technology in the classroom. Thirdly, as a teacher, you should be able to foster student relationship. A lot of students today interact on social media handles like Facebook. All right, they interact with friends on Facebook and other social media platforms. But in the classroom, they are timid. When they see their fellow classmates, they can't even communicate. Okay, so you as a teacher, as a 21st century teacher, you must have the skills to be able to effect relationship, foster student relationship in the classroom. All right, you must make them see the classroom as a small community where they can interact and socialize with their peers. Fourthly, as a 21st century teacher, you must be able to think ahead. Yes, you must be a forward thinker, a thinking teacher. Okay, you must think ahead. All right, you must have the ability to prepare students for the unknown. You prepare them for the future. You see the future before them and get them prepared. Okay, it should be based on the current trends and technology. You prepare them based on the current trends and technology. All right, then lastly, the fifth skill you need to acquire as a 21st century teacher is able to embrace change. Yes, as simple as it is, a lot of us don't like change. We find it very difficult to adapt to change. You must embrace change and adapt to it, okay? So, these days we have new teaching strategies, technology is changing every day. You have to adapt, you have to change. And you see a lot of people rushing to do Montessori training. Yes, it's because they want to acquire new knowledge, they want to adapt new teaching strategies, okay? They don't want to get used to the old pattern, the traditional pattern. Education is changing by the day. You have to change and adapt to that change. You have to be up to date, invest in yourself, and then you can say you are a 21st century teacher.